Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Those of you who are checking in right away, I hope you are having an amazing Monday as I'm checking in here and all my technical stuff, as always, to make sure everything's working. But I appreciate you being a part of our Creative Checkup. If you're watching this on the replay, you can probably fast forward about 2 or 3 minutes if we haven't cut this off already for you. And you guys can go ahead and start right at the beginning of our teaching and our talking today, but I always like to take the first few minutes. Number one, to give you a chance to share this with your friends who are creatives, musicians, freelancers, anybody in the artist field or the entertainment field who you feel could benefit from some encouragement. This is our Creative Checkup Monday, where we jump in as a platform here to help you build a better creative life from the inside out. And my name is Alan, and I'm the host and the founder of this platform, God and Gigs. And I'm an author, creative coach. I'm a musician, an artist just like you. And this is how I try to help and encourage all of us to keep on going on with what we do in our creative lives to really, make not only our own lives better, but the lives of others around us better. I mean, it's just a tough time out there, as you all know, and we can band together and really benefit each other by sharing wisdom, sharing our ideas, sharing questions that you might have. And I just give my little 2 cents every Monday to try to help you with that. But I do feel that I have something to share with you that will help and encourage you. And so as we're jumping in, unfortunately, we don't have Instagram. I unfortunately don't have my phone all charged up. So Instagram, maybe you guys will be joining us later. You might be watching this as a recording that I'll have to post up later on IGTV. But as we jump in, once again, I just want to let you know what this is all about. If you're watching this for the first time, as I said, the Creative Checkup is every Monday. We also have a podcast that goes out usually on Thursdays called The God and Gigs Show. And we also have our blog, godandgigs.com. There have been interviews and there have been articles there for years now. We've been in existence currently the way that it's set up right now for the last 4 or 5 years now. So there's articles going back for 5 years dealing with all sorts of things regarding the creative life. So you can always go there and check that out at godandgigs.com. And of course, that has also all of our archives of our podcast as well. So again, I hope you guys are enjoying your Monday, and I will get right into what the conversation is going to be about today. If you have questions or any chats, things you want to share, comments, go ahead and do so. I'm going to open up my chat app right now to make sure I can see those when you share them. And if you share from the creative community, by the way, those of you who are watching the creative community, I need to make sure I share that there. Give me a couple of seconds as I navigate around all these pages. I wish I could do all this all at once, but I'm a man unto myself, my own executive producer. So I have to kind of manage a bunch of different screens at the same time. So if you see me looking around, that's why, because I have to actually make sure I post this in several different places at the same time. And I'm going to make sure I share this to the creative community because I want to make sure they're able to join us. But if you are joining us, would you first type your name and tell us obviously where you're watching from or something like that, what you're doing today, what's been going on. But then I'd also like you to type in a number. And the number I'd like you to type in is how many streams of income do you feel you have? This is what the topic is today. How many streams of income is necessary? What is the even meaning of a stream of income? When people keep talking about multiple streams of income for artists, specifically creatives and artists, what does that even mean? And is it something that we all should have? Is it something obviously with the pandemic? Is this something that just happens? How in the world do you even get to multiple streams of income? Is it just where you sit around and wait for money to come in the door? Is it all investments? Is it advertising? Is it multi-level? Just what exactly does it even mean? I really wanted to jump into this because it's a question that's been asked by obviously most of us who are dealing with the pandemic and trying to make income in different ways, since our normal way of creating might have been totally shut down. And I wanted to break it down more in terms of mindset versus simply saying, well, here's how you make more money. Here's how you get more multiple streams. Because there's some myths around multiple streams of income that I think I can help you bust and break out of so that you don't spin your wheels. And perhaps for the last few months, you have been feeling like you're spinning your wheels. So if you've got any questions or misconceptions about multiple streams, I'm not here to tell you how to make $1 million. I haven't done that. But I'm telling you that multiple streams of income is more about mindset than it is about money. It's more about how you approach the idea of getting multiple streams versus simply throwing a whole bunch of things out there and hoping that some of them stick and all of a sudden you end up with a bunch of different streams of income. So I'm going to go ahead once again, make sure I share this with our Creative Checkup. And then you are sharing, I hope you're sharing this as well with anybody you know in your world who needs this kind of encouragement, who needs to know how to break down multiple streams of income, who's trying to figure out how to get multiple streams of income. I see Simony is here with us. Simony, thank you so much for joining us, because you are one of the people that I have definitely would love to share some ideas with, because you've asked me about this as well. And your question got me thinking. And I'm gonna, let me type this in here. I just wanted to make sure I got this in to the creative community, because I know they might be joining us very soon. And I'm going to have to reach over to my camera and try to get Instagram running in just like 5 seconds. I don't need this microphone here. So let me jump first into the first slide here. And hey, yeah, there she is. Thanks for joining us. Let me get right over here. Forgive me for all the jumpy stuff I have to do with the stuff that I have to hit this button and that button. And like I said, I'm going to try to get Instagram going if I can, so they can join us as well. Forgive me for reaching right into the camera and doing this, which is definitely not something you're supposed to do as a creative. I'm supposed to be prepared, and my phone was dead, and I'm not happy about that. So again, like, share. If you're watching this for the first time and you're like watching me going around and you don't know, like, okay, what's this guy talking about? Don't worry, we're going to start in just like a couple of seconds. I'm going to get Instagram going. I don't want them to miss anything. And we're running a little late today, so I want to make sure I get started like as fast as we can. Let's get this going here. And 5 more seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2. And everyone's counting down. No, you're not counting down. You're probably like, why is this guy still talking and not showing us anything? There we go, finally. Okay. So let me jump right back into multiple streams of income. First of all, what are multiple streams? Let's talk about like the whole point. What are multiple streams of income? Why do we need them? What exactly does it even mean? And what I'm going to kind of go at first is what multiple streams of income is not. And it's what kind of the myths of multiple streams of income. When I look at this topic, I oftentimes see, whether it's on Instagram or all these different advertisements, there's always some person in sitting on a beach, or there's somebody, in a big house, and they're sitting back, they're drinking a Mai Tai, or they're drinking something, and they're like, this is the life. And why is this the life? Because I've got multiple streams of income. And if you have multiple streams of income, you could live this life too. And your only problem is that you don't know what I know. And if you knew what I knew, you would be able to have multiple streams, you'd be rich, and you'd have all these things taken care of, no issues with money, because you'd have my secret. And then click here, right? So that's what most people, I think, when they see multiple streams of income, the first thing they think is they see the scam artists, or they see the people that have all this money, and all they do is just talk about multiple streams, but they don't explain what it is. They simply put it as this pie in the sky thing that everybody should know about, but no one explains. No one really talks about what you actually do to get multiple streams of income. And that's the first thing I want to start to break down, is the myth behind the multiple streams. It's not this legend. It's not this thing that only, the rich people have. Most of us, if we are really honest with ourselves, already deal with multiple streams of income. We just don't know it yet. We don't know we have the access to multiple streams. We simply think it's something more expensive or more impressive is the word I'm looking for. Something that's more impressive than we really realize. And that's what I want to kind of address today, is that it's not complicated. It's not something that only rich people have. artists, musicians, creators, we all have access to multiple streams. And the easiest, quickest definition I can give is money that comes to you, that flows to you from different sources in different ways, but are under your control. Money that flows to you from different sources in different ways, but it's under your control. In other words, this isn't some kind of plan or some kind of program where money just kind of gets dropped into your lap just because you posted somewhere and you don't even know where it comes from, but it just shows up. Multiple streams of income have to be managed. They have to be understood. They have to be owned. They have to be understood in terms of what you control and how you set them up. And then they become what people sometimes call passive income and all that kind of stuff. But it doesn't start with this pie in the sky thing. It starts with intention. It starts with a focus. And then we move into the idea of how you can actually make these things work for you. Again, I'm not coming to you as some type of expert. I'm coming to you as someone who's working diligently on building these things so that you have the same ability to create multiple streams as anybody else. There's nothing in the multiple streams of income that makes it some kind of a secret. So please, if you are watching this right now, if you've just joined us, again, if you can just type in the number, like how many streams of income do you have right now? Do you think you have right now? And let's see if that number doesn't increase before we finish this talk. Just type in a number. If I have 1 stream of income, 2 streams of income, I have 3, I have 5, I have 10, I have 9, I have 20. Just in your head, just type in what do you think that number is? Because if you have that number, it might be less or more than what you already believe it to be. And I'm doing the same thing, by the way. I'm also thinking of myself, like how many streams of income do I really have? How many can I count on? How many is it really under my possession and under my control? So let's talk about this first. Hey, Precious, how are you doing? I see you said 1, Simone said 2. So make sure you keep that in your mind, like what those 2 are, what that 1 is, Precious, so that you can like start to think about when I start showing you these myths, whether or not you may have more than you realize, or maybe more access to more than 1 than you realize. I'm like looking at both screens here, so I gotta get myself focused here. I got like 2 things going on. I'm like looking at your chat. Here we go. Oh, wait, I gotta make sure I check out YouTube chat too. Sorry. Okay, there we go. All right, so now I can see everybody's, hopefully. All right, so number 1. Myth number 1 about multiple streams of income is number 1, the idea is just to do more things. If you do more things, clearly that's multiple streams, right? So if I do DoorDash and I play music and I do medical transcriptions, okay? So maybe that's just multiple streams. Like that's the first thing. I just do more things, do more jobs, have more jobs. That means more multiple streams of income. That's kind of true, but I would immediately say, here's why that's a myth. The myth is that simply by doing more things, you're building more streams. That's going to equal more money, more freedom, more ability. Because what people are really asking for when they say multiple streams of income, you're not looking for more work, I'm guessing. The idea is not that you stretch yourself so thin that you just, job after job after job. Okay, I'm going to do 7 different jobs, and then I have 7 different streams of income. Because we all know there's only so much time in the day. There's only so much energy you have. And at some point, you're going to run yourself ragged, and you're not going to be able to handle that. So if that's with you, if you've ever thought that multiple streams of income simply meant just do more things, then just type in yes or type in, hey, that's me, or something like that, so I know that I'm tracking with you. Because the first thing that I realized when I started trying to multiply my streams of income is that I'm only one person. And so I remember one time I actually took on a paper route. Believe it or not, I was an adult. I'm an adult, okay? But I decided I was going to do a paper route because I wanted another stream of income and we needed some money, like fast. And so I took on this paper route because they said, okay, all I got to do is just drive in and throw papers. I said, okay, this sounds like something I can do. I went to the newspaper warehouse at like it was like 3:30 in the morning, and I go into this big warehouse, and this, obviously the smell of ink and papers everywhere. And this guy's walking me through, and he's guiding me, and I'm getting obviously touching all the ink and everything. There's ink all over my hands, and he's showing me where to go and where to throw the papers and all that kind of stuff, and watch out for this dog and that dog. And so, meanwhile, I'm thinking to myself, for me to do this paper route and get all these papers to the place I need to go, it's going to take me like 2 or 3 hours out of my day. Now, I don't remember what the hourly rate was, but there was a realization that, number one, I'm not really good at this. I'm probably going to have a lot of struggle trying to do this. Number two, and this was my big lesson that I learned when I started my own route, like maybe 3 times. I think I did no, I may only got through one route. And believe it or not, I tried to do this on a Sunday. Now, those of you who are church musicians and churchgoers know that was a big mistake. For me to try to do that job on a Sunday I ran into church like right after finishing my last route. I was like 10 minutes late. I had ink all over my hands, and it was like, this isn't going to work. I wanted that multiple stream, but for me to put myself to do more work and to be able to try to get back and forth between those two jobs was going to be impossible. And so simply doing more things was not the answer for me to create multiple streams of income, even though I'm not saying there's no time for you ever to do a third job or fourth job or a second job. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is the mentality of multiple streams of income isn't simply to do more things. Doing more things oftentimes ends up becoming diminishing returns, because the more things you do, the less time you have. And that's the issue with multiple streams, that we sometimes get confused that, well, it just means I do more jobs, and I'll do more jobs. I have more things going on, and that means more money coming in. But you find out you have less ability to do things because you don't have enough time. You don't have enough, not just time, you don't have enough energy or focus to do all these things, especially as an artist. Let me talk directly to my artists, since we are here at God in Gigs. You probably know without a shadow of a doubt what your goal and what your mindset is about creating. But when you try to think of multiple streams of income, oftentimes the battle begins that, wait, I want to do this more than anything, but I got to make money. So I got to do these two different things. And this thing pulls away from the other thing. And that's the mentality I want to talk to you about, because if that's the issue, that you feel you're being pulled away from your creative gift or your creative calling, I don't believe God necessarily calls us to simply grab all the money we can get to do our creative thing. And then once we get all the money, then we start doing our creative thing. I think there's obviously a balance that we can reach between earning money and doing what we love. Yes, Precious says, pushing to be an artist with a creative business isn't easy. You're right, because that dichotomy of, am I an artist or I am business, is always the case, Precious. So I totally agree with you there. So myth number one is just to do more things, add more jobs, add more things. More multiple streams of income means I'm doing more. And what I'm telling you is the myth is that doesn't always work, because it ends up diminishing returns in terms of what you're actually getting back in terms of energy, time, and work. So, oh, there is a delay, by the way. I think sometimes you guys aren't responding to me, and then I see, oh, wait, they responded, and it's like 2 seconds later. So I apologize. Some of you guys are you're like maybe 10 seconds behind. So if I don't say what you read until afterwards, it's because I sped ahead of you. I apologize. So myth number two is just sell more stuff. Multiple streams of income, supposedly in this area, just means I got to sell more things. If I sell more things have multiple streams, more things I'm selling on Amazon, more things I'm sharing on Craigslist, more things I'm selling my art here. I have my SoundCloud, I have my Mixcloud, I have this over here. I have all these different things that I'm selling. And supposedly, hey, Michelle, how are you doing? Mimi Around the Waves just joined us. Good. Great to see you on Facebook. So we're talking about multiple streams of income and what is not, the myth. So the first myth was just do more things, add more jobs, do 1,000 jobs, and that's multiple streams. And as artists and creatives, supposedly that's going to make it better for us. The second myth, as you guys hear, somebody's at Amazon, just mentioned Amazon, is just sell more stuff. And sell more stuff, again, kind of implies, well, just add to your catalog. Add more stuff, have more things in your catalog, selling it all over the place. Sell on Etsy, sell here, sell there. And once again, it doesn't mean that these aren't components of multiple streams of income, but it does mean that they cannot be the only way that you create these streams, because here's the problem. Once again, is it really multiple streams of income if all you're doing is simply adding a bunch of things on a list that you can sell, but not necessarily being able to either manage them, know why you're selling them where, or what their purpose is, or how they're going to build into your entire brand or your entire creative business? Musicians, we are really bad at this. Okay, I'm going to talk about us, musicians. I don't know how many of you, if you're watching this and you're an artist or a creative photographer, poet, writer, this may not apply to you, but musicians, we're really bad at this. Musicians, oftentimes, we simply say, okay, multiple streams of income mean I'm just going to put my stuff on every platform I possibly can find. So we have, we sell our CDs here, we have here, and stream here, and buy my CD here, and buy my CD here, and just throw, mixtapes or whatever. We just throw everything at the wall. Like, okay, I sell more stuff. And the more places I have my stuff, there's going to be multiple places where people are buying it. And that means that that's multiple streams. That's honestly only one stream, because it's all coming from one source, one product, or music. It's only one thing that's creating that. And once that music is gone, there's no longer anybody that's buying it. That source is dried up. So I want to counsel all the musicians. We're not talking simply about posting your stuff everywhere, okay? And to the creatives as well, the writers in this group, the cinematographers, their idea is not simply to post more. I think that's what I'm trying to say here. You're not simply trying to post more. You're trying, in this case, what I'm going to talk about very soon, is you're trying to create more platforms and more properties, which can then be the conduit for more products. Does that make sense? I don't know if I said that right. If that makes sense, just type in yes, or I hear you, or hey, okay, that makes sense, or give me a thumbs up or something like that. So we're not just simply trying to create more products and post them everywhere. And we're not simply just trying to create more jobs, okay, and just do more jobs. Do more jobs as musicians, artists, creatives, I get it. Sometimes you're gonna have to hustle. You're gonna have to do more things, as we said, and sometimes you got to sell more stuff. So all these things are things we have to do, especially now with income going the way it's going. That's true. So these are not myths by themselves, but they're myths that this is all multiple streams of income means, okay? So it doesn't mean, as I was just saying, it doesn't mean just do more things, and it doesn't mean just sell more stuff, okay? Thank you, Semini. Michelle says yes. All right, cool. So you guys are tracking with me. Okay, and by the way, if you're just watching this now, please go ahead and share it. I'm going to be on for another 20 minutes or so, and then 20 minutes or so, and then we're going to do a Q&A. I'll probably shut off the live for the replay people, so they don't have to watch all of my rambling and all of my, I'll edit the replay so that people aren't watching my foolishness in terms of trying to get everything going on Instagram going. But go ahead and share this if you can, because I feel like this is an important point that we're about to get into. So even if they watch, they can watch it from the beginning and they can catch up with us. So don't feel shy about sharing it. That's something I've learned, that oftentimes I get into and I forget that, you can share it anytime and they can watch it from the beginning and they can participate with us. So myth number 3, just join more programs. This is me, okay, guys? This was really mostly for me. So multiple streams of income just simply means to these people, if I just join up with this thing and this thing and this circle and this thing, and I'm this investment program and this investment program, and I'm doing this thing, and I show up and I do Avon, and I do Mary Kay, and I do this multi-level, and I'm all these things. Okay, now I've got multiple streams because I've got all these different programs going, and all of them are going to provide some income for me. So now I've got multiple streams of income. And here is my little myth about that. I've never seen anybody who says to anybody, hey, you know how I got rich? I got rich by being a member of 6 different investment clubs. or I got rich by becoming a member of 5 different multi-levels, or I got rich by being in this many blessing circles. I mean, I'm being very honest, okay? I've been tempted many times to say, okay, by building up all this stuff, it may not feel like I'm doing anything. So let me, if I join this guy's program, and this guy's program, this guy's program, all these multiple streams will start becoming like my portfolio of income as an artist. And it's been tempting. It's been very tempting to jump into different programs and just say, okay, if I jump into all these different programs, now I'm going to have these multiple streams. And oh, that light, actually, I need that light for my, I've got this light, a shadow here going on from my light. I'm sorry, I'm like noticing things behind me. I feel there's something behind me. So there's so many different situations where we're tempted to jump into different programs to supposedly create multiple streams. But again, the problem is that that doesn't work for the musician and the artist, because there's only so much time and there's only so much energy. And each of these programs requires, most of the time, you to be focused on it. So it might create one stream of income in terms of maybe working a certain business or a certain program, but it's not going to create the depth and the diversity that you need to be able to work really on your craft and work on your skill. Again, one stream of income may be great, but it's not all there is. Just joining different programs is not going to create the diversification that you're looking for as an artist. So I've talked about 3 different myths, okay? It's not just do more jobs. It's not just sell more stuff, sell 1,000 products and just jump into a whole bunch of products and then you create multiple streams of income. And it's not just joining more programs, okay? So I hope you can agree with that. If you agree with that, go ahead and just type in true or yes. Hey, okay, I get it, all right? Not just joining more things. And by the way, if you've ever felt this way, be honest. If any of these myths kind of resonated with you, if you've ever tried just doing more jobs or joining more programs or any of these myths, let's tell on ourselves, okay? I told you that my myth was probably I've been pushed to want to do more jobs to build multiple streams, and I felt like I needed to join more programs. And I thought also I just sell more products, okay? And again, I'm not talking to you as an expert that's made billions of dollars. It's not me, y'all. I cannot come to you acting like I'm something I'm not. This is not me telling you this is how I made my millions. This is how I made my thousands. This is telling you how I do see myself having multiple streams, literally because I've seen them happen really without me even realizing it. Without realizing it, I have multiple streams, but I did not necessarily pay attention to know that I had them, which is why I asked you to type your number. So if your number, I'm up there, I think somebody you said 2. So maybe 2 of those things were, like you just said, doing more jobs. So maybe your 2 were jobs. You had 2 jobs, right? Or, Precious, you said you only had 1. But maybe now when we talk about this next thing, you'll see that, oh, wait, maybe I have more than just 1 stream of income possibly, okay? So, by the way, there's so much on the internet you can look up where I don't have to go into what those different jobs can be or what those different streams can be. What I want to do, what I want to do is talk about the mindset behind those jobs, the mindset behind those multiple streams. So here's a key principle. One size does not fit all, okay? What works for one person's multiple streams does not necessarily mean it works for you, okay? Now, I will just point out, Jay-Z. Jay-Z, we've all seen, and now Puff Daddy, P. Diddy, all these guys that are now 50 Cent, another one, multiple million-dollar millionaires, and they have started as musicians and artists and rappers, and now clearly have business empires, okay? I'm pretty sure that what worked for them, that might be great, but that doesn't mean that you have to become a Jay-Z or P. Diddy or 50 Cent for you to have multiple streams of income as an artist or a musician or a creative entrepreneur. What worked for them was to parlay their music into different streams of income, different business models, different things where they got into fashion, got into film, got into recording, got into, well, not just recording, but producing and being a record label. They were able to move those things back and forth into those areas. That doesn't mean that you have to do it the way Jay-Z did it. You don't have to do it the way Beyonce did it. You don't even have to do it the way that, your local creative entrepreneur, someone you're looking up to. You don't have to be a Tyler Perry. You don't have to do it the way that George Lucas did it. You don't have to be the same kind of entrepreneur that someone else was to create these multiple streams of income. You can do it your way. That's one of the biggest lessons I think that we can take away from this mindset thing. What works for them may not work for you, but that doesn't mean that you can't find the right mix of streams that works for you. So one of the things I think we get frustrated often, and tell me if this is true, you get frustrated because you're trying to build this massive empire of multiple streams and you're trying to do it the way you saw somebody else do it. Has anybody else felt that way? Has anybody else compared yourself on Instagram to all the other people that seem like they're making it during this pandemic? And you're like, well, I just need to copy their template. I need to do everything that they do. Is it good to keep their ideas and, take like a swipe file of their ideas? I do that all the time. I screenshot ideas and I take a lot of notes from people. But the key is that I am not trying to be the people that I am modeling or taking ideas from or borrowing ideas from. I can't do it the way that Jay-Z built his multiple streams. I can't even build it the way that a businessman would build his empire or build his multiple streams. I got to do it the way that works for me, the way that works for Paul Enterprises, Paul Creative Enterprises, for Paul Creative Services. That's the way I got to do it for you, for me. So one size does not fit all. So we've broken down the myths. Now let's quickly talk about the mindset. And here's where I'll go back to one of the first things I said about multiple streams. What multiple streams is to me, and if you have a different definition, please share it. Multiple streams of income to me is having money flowing to me from different sources in different ways, but always under my control. All these different methods and ways of getting money are all under my control. And so when I said, it doesn't necessarily mean that you have more products, and it doesn't necessarily mean that you have more jobs, but it does mean you have more platforms and or properties. And what do I mean by property? I'm not saying just real estate, although real estate is a wonderful property, but I'll use that as an analogy. When I say property, I'm talking about if you have more intellectual or physical properties that are under your control, each one of those represents a potential stream of income. Each property or potential platform you have becomes a place where you can then create a stream of income. Because what I'm saying is, every area in which you can serve a certain audience or serve a certain problem is a place where you can potentially earn an income from solving that problem or serving that audience. So it's not necessarily about different streams of income being just more products. It's different audiences or problems that I'm solving in which I can then serve that audience, and then they pay me for solving that problem. I hope this is making sense. Is this making sense to anybody? If that makes sense to you, then tell me. So what we're looking for is not more jobs and not more programs and not more stuff. We're looking for more problems and solutions we can solve, and platforms and places that which we can solve those problems. And then those places become things where you can earn another income. Now, here's the thing. Sometimes those will be a product. It might be a product where there's something that you solve a problem and that becomes a stream of income because you've solved that problem. There's another place where it might be a property in terms of like just your expertise. Your expertise solves a problem. And you own that, and that's where I solve that problem and that becomes a stream of income. Another place might be my reputation. Maybe because I have connections and relationships, I can then provide solutions for that audience. That audience is looking for a particular solution. I can solve their problem. That becomes a stream of income potentially because they will pay me to solve that problem. Musically, let's talk creatively. Maybe I have a particular skill in terms of my music or my art, the way I sing, the way I play, the way I teach, the way I write. That particular problem has a particular audience. That audience needs that problem solved. They need to be able to entertain. They need to be light, they need that. I can provide a solution to that. That becomes a stream of income in which my particular expertise becomes, or my music becomes a solution to their problem, a stream of income. It could be, again, let's go to physical property. It could be my products, or I could own a real estate or an investment or a stock or a bond. I own it. By putting my investment into that particular product or that particular company or that particular business, what did they need from me? They needed capital. I solved the problem because they needed a partner. They needed somebody to step in. I stepped in, I put my money in this particular place, I provide capital for them, I solved the problem. I now have a potential source of income from solving the problem of some other business needing a partner, or a person needing a place to live, or a person needing a place to stay. Is this making sense? So the mindset of an owner is not to have more products or more properties alone. It's solving more problems, and each problem I solve becomes a potential source of income. That's what I'm trying to teach and share with you guys today, because it's so much more than simply, I need more things, I need more stuff, I need to do more things. Multiple sources of income is more about solving the right problems in the right areas, in which you can now say each one of those places is a potential place for profit. I hope that makes sense. And again, talking to musicians and artists and creatives, this is not always the way we look at it. You might look at it and say, well, I just need more to sell more music, or I just need to sell more art. I just need to sell more things. And what you need to do is think about more like, are there things that I can solve and problems I can solve? And the ways that I can solve it becomes a place where I can now have a property or a potential platform in which I can then have that work. Let me tell you how that actually works for me. Let me look about it here while I'm looking at the chat here. Thank you, Precious. Exactly. Every problem you solve becomes another potential source of income. And I'll tell you exactly how this worked out in my life. So you're looking at me right now as the founder of God and Gigs. God and Gigs did not start as me trying to start a company which I could sell products, books. It did not start for me to start a podcast. It did not start for me wanting to be on lives with you and do coaching and consulting. It started with me saying there's a problem with musicians that don't have a connection between what they do spiritually in church and then playing out and doing gigs. It was simply a problem I saw. I did not start this as a potential source of income, nor did I even think of it that way. I didn't think of, I need another source of income, so I'm going to start a business. I didn't think I need another source of income, so I'm going to start writing books. I didn't say I need multiple streams of income. I said, there's a problem. Let me start addressing the problem. Now, what's happened is that this has become a platform of which I have now multiple chances to solve problems, of which each one of those problems I solve now, the book that sits there in Amazon at any point can be a profit because I wrote something to solve a problem. And now I do market that. And that's why I want to make sure one of the sub-myth is that this all becomes passive. It's not just passive, sit around, wait for the money to show up. If you invest in something, it still needs to be, what was my main point, under your control. You own it. It's never passive in the sense that you don't own or pay attention to it. It's passive as that it does not require active monitoring every single minute of the day. But you do put it as the mindset of the owner, as I control this particular source of income and I pay attention to it. I hope I'm not going too deep, you guys. I'm trying to make sure I share this in the right way. So in terms of what I'm doing, like I said, mindset of an owner, I now own God and Gigs as an intellectual property, Sit, Sing, and Swing as an intellectual property, which is a group we made for summer concerts with my friend Lavi. Keep the Music Playing as an intellectual property, which can bring such income. It's an entertainment online. So I'm solving that problem of bringing entertainment online. So that became another source of income. And then I'm losing track now. Music, I do music, so I play music. So that solved the problem for people who wanted music. So I just got a royalty check for some music I forgot I did, but that was created and then it's there and it's creating. So that's a source of income. I'm not into investing yet. I should be. I was. but I'm not investing anymore, but I should be. And that's another source of income that if I saw the problem for someone that wanted a partner and I had the income, I would then go into that and I would make sure that that was the thing. But that's not me right now. My properties and my multiple sources of incomes are all problems I solved for entertainment and artists and creatives. Each one of those things, once I create something that can become a place where that problem is solved, then becomes a place where I could say, okay, how can I earn income from solving that problem or addressing that audience? Precious says, what if my thought process was reversed? I put on music, hosted shows, and assisted artists, but now I'm working to shift my mindset to an owner. I agree 100% that I think it's reversed, but it's a little bit of the same thing. If you're putting on music, and this is really hard for me because I think a lot of people think of music as not very solving a problem, but I've done surveys of my audience and 90% of them have said it's a problem finding quality music. It's a problem for them to find, especially now there's no live shows except for a few. It's a problem. It is a legitimate problem for people to find good music or good quality entertainment. And so you can see yourself creating this stuff as addressing a problem, solving a problem, even though it's artistic and you're not just marketing it and you're not just out to make a buck. It is absolutely solving a problem. Simony says working on investing too. Absolutely. But again, you can see how it all fits together. But all you want to do in that, Precious, I'm addressing your question again, is exactly that. Shift in the mindset of an owner and say, okay, these are all in one pot. And I want to get to my next point because I love the fact that we're doing this. The positive pivot principle. And here's kind of like where I wanted to go with the whole point about it's all in one pot. That's why I stopped and went to this. What I really want to make clear to you is I'm not saying to do a million different things to create multiple streams of income because I think that burns us out. What I am saying is that obviously many of us have had to change our business mindset and our artist mindset, creative mindset entirely because we can't do what we used to do. Performance is not dry. Performance is dried up and all this other stuff. I don't want to go over what the pandemic has done. We've been over that 100 times. But what I do want to say is that to pivot in a positive way, instead of drawing yourself too thin, is to think of simply this way. I would say it like this. To do what you do in a different way, right? That's the pivot. To do what you do already in a different way and to be more creative in how you do it. But not to do different things. Multiple streams of income doesn't suddenly mean that you need to become a real estate investor and a salesman and an entrepreneur and like adding just all these different things, although that might happen just naturally. But what the natural source of these multiple streams of income is to simply say, what can I do that I do well, but do it in a different way? So I'm already a teacher. So how can I teach in a different way? So maybe teaching one person at a time is no longer working, but I'm a teacher. So what if I thought of, okay, I could solve more problems for more people if I put videos online or did a workshop of a $5 workshop and did that via Zoom and opened up to a whole class of people where I could serve 100 people at the same time. I'm still a teacher, but I'm not teaching one person at a time. So it's the pivot to, I'm still a teacher, I still teach music, but I'm going to move in another direction where I can do what I do in a different way, do what I do best in a different way. So the positive pivot principle, say that 5 times fast, is to make sure you're never stretching yourself to the point where you're simply trying to throw more things at the fire in hopes that you build multiple streams. It's doing more of what you do well in different ways and doing things that mean something to you, but actually you can sink your teeth into and using your best qualities and applying them to those things. Is that making sense to anybody? Michelle says, quality live music is hard to find. That's right. Yep. That's exactly what I'm trying to say with the music side. This shadow's still driving me crazy. I want to move my light just because it's like, I don't know. It's I don't know how to get it where I'm still illuminated, but I feel like there's someone behind me. It's like a bad horror movie or something. Anyway, I got to get the lighting thing done. It's not any big deal. So That's really what my talk was today. And by the way, now that we've got to the end, I know Michelle. I don't know, think you ever answered this question. And anybody watching on Instagram on the replay, feel free to jump in too. Now that you've framed it differently, how many streams of income do you have potentially? Because if you started with 2 or 1, I doubt there's only one. And by the way, let me go real quick. And I promise it'll be the last thing. If you guys got to go, then feel free to go. But I see there's a couple of people still hanging with us. We would normally go 30 minutes. I went almost an hour today. I just got going. If you work a job, full-time job, are you solving a problem? Yeah, you're solving a problem for your employer who needs that particular job done at a particular time, and you're getting paid for it. So you're solving a problem that employer needs you to do a certain job. That's a problem. That's a potential source of income, which it is. That's one thing. But how many other potential sources of income do you have where you have a gift or an ability to solve a problem where you could possibly solve someone's issue and make that a potential source of income? And again, it goes from investing, it goes from teaching, it goes to performing, it goes to coaching, it goes to recommending other people's products for affiliates. It could go to even in terms of whatever business you could want to jump into. Once you find new ways to solve the problem, each one of those things becomes a potential source of income. Michelle says 3, 5 if I get certified in a particular avenue. Nice. So you have 3 already. You see how I love that you went already to 3, because now I know, Michelle, you're in a lot of different things, and I've seen how you're building your brand. Somebody says from 2 to possibly 4. Yes, that's what I'm saying. And by the way, let me be very, 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 very open with you. This does not mean money comes overnight, okay? I am not seeing every single stream of income increasing overnight like I suddenly just saw, oh, I have all these streams of income and now they're all producing. It means I have a diversification where I can aim my target at different places. And right now I have 3 targets in which I'm aiming at. My music is my live stream. My coaching is what I'm doing here, where I'm building up programs, live stream course where you can learn how to live stream the way that I learned to live stream, and my consulting. 3 different platforms, 3 different potential streams of income, each one of them with individual products inside that thing. The music, obviously, that could also mean I could be writing and playing and performing. But it goes inside the bucket of the problem I solve is helping people find good music, quality music. And there's multiple ways I can solve that. And there's multiple ways I can invest in that. And by the way, I didn't even mention people sponsoring you, coming into your world, and you help solve their problem and they help solve yours because you need income. So they sponsor you or they partner with you. So there's another potential source of income where people partner with you as well as you partnering with them to invest in you. There's also people that can invest in your stuff via endorsements, commercials, licensing, all these different ways that you can think of. But again, I want to stay with the mindset and necessarily not the practical, hey, these are a million ways you can make money, because you'll think of more that I can't even think of. So consider the problems that you solve, the way you can solve them as a potential source of income, pivot to those things, doing the things you do well, but in a different way, and do more of those things. And each one of those things becomes a potential way that you as an artist or creative or an entrepreneur can now earn new ways of living. Okay, so that was basically my talk today. I'm really appreciative of everybody who's decided to join me here. If you're watching this on the replay, again, share this. I know there were a lot of ums and ahs, and I'm responding to everybody. I'm still getting used to that. And everybody that joined us on Instagram, thank you for joining me. Go back and watch the replay if you're just watching the very end of this. We covered a lot of ground, guys. And by the way, if you are interested in some of these programs and things I'm talked about, one of the things that I definitely would promote to make sure that you're not losing the whole point of this is that you got to stay in touch with the audience to even find out what they need. So there's a bunch of workshops that I'm helping out with and promoting. One of those is from a group called ConvertKit. They are an email service provider. If you don't have an email list, you really can't reach your audience yet. And if you just reach 40 or 50 people with an email list and just say, hey, I've got a PDF or I've got a video to solve your problem, will you guys buy this? You can literally have another stream of income overnight because you start addressing the problem and people will pay you. Yes, they will pay you up front before you even solve their problem because you've got a solution, and then you can build a solution because you've got their money and you've got some idea of what you want to solve. But you can create the video, create the course, create whatever it is, create the lesson book, create whatever it is, create the song, write the song. I mean, Kickstarter is basically this in a nutshell. Kickstarter is, hey, here's a problem I want to solve. Will you give me money to solve it before I make the stuff? And then they give you the money, and then you solve the problem and you give them the stuff. So there's really a way that you can do this. So you got to get an email list though first. So check out godofgigs.com/email workshop. It helps you to get into these workshops where you can learn how to use your email list to connect with people and solve the problems, find out what to solve, and find out how you can build your artist brand, your creative brand, your music brand. And I'll just throw a little Bible verse on you because, I mean, the Bible talks about diversification. It talks about how you need to cast your bread upon the waters. It doesn't say cast your bread in one river. It says cast your bread out, okay? Spread it out. Make sure you have lots of different places where it goes, and then it comes back to you. So I really want to see you guys succeed. I want to see you prospering. I don't want to see our creatives down and out because of everything that's been going on. So I'm really hoping you're taking in these ideas. Check out godandgigs.com/email workshop. I should type that in to make sure you guys see it. And I'm going to start making some of these pinned things right now. Check that out if you want to see what God and Gigs is doing in terms of the email, how you can build your list. We also got a lot of things at godandgigs.com/toolkit, all the different things that, you know, if you have ideas in terms of the way to build your business, ideas you need, if you need things on live streaming, we have all that stuff at the toolkit, budgeting things, money things, everything that has to do with the creative business life. You can check it out at godandgigs.com/toolkit. That will definitely help you. So check out any one of those links. I think we covered it. There's no other questions. Thank you so much for joining me. Precious, Simony, Michelle, thank you so much for being a part of this. Everybody else that might be joining that didn't comment, thank you so much for joining me as well. Okay, you guys are amazing. You need to stay focused. Keep doing what you do well. Do more of it. Just expand your horizons. And that way, I'm sure you're going to see those multiple streams of income coming forth for you. Okay. Make sure you join us next Monday. We're going to talk more about this, address more about specifics about websites and how we can continue to help each other. But again, we're dealing a lot with mindset because once you get out of your own way, this is me too, you get out of your own way, you find yourself finding all new avenues. Just pray about it, seek God about it, but then go get it. Don't push, without realizing you have resources available to you. Go back, review these tapes, review these videos, and then go forward with confidence and with clarity. Okay. Thank you so much, guys. I'm going to go ahead and get off now. We've been about an hour. This has been perfect. Appreciate you, Precious. Thank you so much for checking in with us. Simony, everybody that checked in. And again, share this if you're watching this on replay. It's here for you. And I hope you got something out of it. Okay. So I'll see you next Monday, 2 o'clock Eastern. Hopefully this time still works for all of you guys on the Eastern timeline. And our West Coast folks, you guys are probably getting ready for lunch. So see you guys next Monday, same time. Okay. Take care.